Nikita madam, please begin.
What, sir?
Please begin. We are live.
Okay. So good morning, everyone present here, and good morning, ma'am. I'm very pleased to welcome you, the speaker of our webinar, Dr. Apurva Chauhan, who has done her bachelor's in BA Honors English from Delhi University, her master's and PhD from Banasthali Vidyapeeth, and currently she is working as an assistant professor cum program coordinator in Amity University online. We welcome you, ma'am, for your time and the kind presence. And the topic of the webinar is the power of emotions. I now hand over to Dr. Apurva Chauhan to proceed the webinar.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Nikita, for the brief introduction. And first of all, I would like to thank Parul University for having me, for inviting me for this webinar. And I would just like to ask Nikita ma'am here that am I audible and can you see me properly?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Everything is clear. Your voice and screen, everything is clear.
All right. Thank you so much. So yes, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone who can hear me right now, who can see me right now. I'm Dr. Apurva Chauhan, as Nikita ma'am has already mentioned. And today's webinar is going to be about emotional intelligence. I'm not going to drop in a bomb just at the very beginning, but I'm going to tell you something about, I'm going to discuss something about how emotions rule us, where we need to rule them. Okay, so we'll begin with the power of emotions and how these emotions, they are very much significant and vital with respect to the 21st century working skills. Okay, so I would just simply come to the next slide, which says label it, own it, and condense it. Now, students and everyone who can hear me, I'll just give you a small example. Okay, please think about it. And yes, of course, before beginning with my narratology here, I would just ask all of you to have a pen or pencil, and a notepad. Because in this webinar, I'm going to ask certain questions, certain reflexive questions, which you need to keep, a record of, so that by the end of the session, or with each phase that we pass in this webinar, you'll be able to sit back and reflect upon your emotions and your behavior. All right. All right, so with that notion, I hope you all have something to track down. Now tell me, students, think about it. Has it ever happened with you when you listen to a very sad song, emotionally strong song, you are directed by that song, you are directed by that music, and you become captured in the emotion of that song, okay? So probably, you can write down that one very emotional song. And if I have to think about me, then there was, when I was in school, there was this song called, uh, you know, from the movie Three Idiots, which says "Sari umr hum mar mar ke ji liye" and all that. So whenever I used to listen to that song, automatically, in a moment or so, I used to become sad or laden with certain emotions. And of course, now I know that my emotions have two sides. It's like, a coin with both the sides. Now I know emotions are both strong, and they have the power to manipulate us. They are strong, they're fragile, both of them together. So we give the rights to the emotions to make us feel whatever they want, whatever the emotions are taking. So we are going with the flow without acknowledging, without understanding, without recognizing that why are we feeling so. Okay, so here in this webinar, students, I am going to divide this webinar into three parts, three phases: label it, own it, and condense it. The first part would be, labeling it. We'll get to know more about it before we go and move into the first part of labeling. Look at these questions in front of you. There are 6 questions. I hope they are all visible to you. Okay. The first 3 questions are the questions that people ask you, that people around you ask you. And the last 3 questions are the questions which are asked by either someone who's really very close to you, or your parents, or a therapist. Okay. So let us begin with me. Okay. How are you? How have you been? How do you feel today? Now, again, make use of that pencil, make use of that notepad that you have in front of you. What do you feel about Mondays? I have a, very different kind of relationship with Monday since the time I started working, And no, I mean, we can go back to the times when I was in school. After 2 days of leaves, nobody wants to go back to a school, college, workplace, etc. I hope that you agree with me that Monday has that quality, rather, the property that it makes people sullen sometimes. So with this particular example, I would like to quote one thing, that one day it was just a very usual Monday, and one of my colleagues, she could see through that I am not in the best moods. And she asked me, what's with you? I mean, how are you doing? So I was like, no, it's nothing. I think it's just Monday being Monday. These are just Monday blues. Now, these things keep on happening. And such questions, they kept on taking place. It's not like, it's the only one time that it happened. It just kept on happening. Okay. And one day, students, something happened. You, all of us, it's not just, students, it's not just children, it's not just, the kids who needs this and who needs to hear this, but all of us, who are all grown-ups also, we need that one person or an event that opens our eyes. Okay. Like an epiphany, right? A sudden realization of something. So one of my family members, very close to me, okay, now I can say my mother. So it was Monday and I was talking to her, and we were like I mentioned that, it's Monday. That's why I'm irritated, I'm annoyed. And she said, no, it's not a Monday. Stop accusing Monday. In her own way of expression, she said so. And I was like, I mean, you don't understand, everyone faces this. Everyone has this, love-hate relationship with Monday. You won't understand. And then she snapped on my face and said, she said that, what about last night? Did you sleep properly? What were you watching? Now, the thing is that this woman in front of you, she used to spend the Sunday evening watching the residual episodes that were left to be watched. Okay. She slept late, and it was nothing about the day that was there. It was nothing about Monday being accused of something that it has not done. It was a person who slept, who's a victim of sleep deprivation, right? So here we are. Now, the thing is that what am I doing is accusing wrong thing of something that is, within me, something that I did not recognize well. I could not, realize and recognize properly, something like that. The main idea, the main point that I'm trying to make here is that it's really very important for us to realize, to recognize, to identify the right emotion, to blame the right event that make us feel, the way we feel. Okay. So next time, whoever asks you, how are you, how have you been, or how do you feel today, just try to track down the right thing. Of course, we do not have the time to track it down. You can just be fair with yourself and be very, conscious about what you're saying. Mostly students, by the coming slides and the coming talks that we're going to have, you'll be able to realize that it's a matter of practice and nothing else. We all can be masters of our emotions and not slaves. All right. Now the next three questions, let us read about them as well. Are you carrying something from yesterday? Like, for example, when I was talking about me, I was carrying lack of sleep, right? And that made me feel not talk to anyone in the morning. Those mornings when you don't want to talk to anybody, you wake up and you want to have your tea in silence. You don't want anybody to ask you questions. And when you're driving towards and when you drive and park your car, you don't even want to tell the guard that give the instructions, etc. Those things happen, right? And that is where you need to ask yourself, what is happening to me? Next time when you feel agitated, next time when you feel that something is going wrong, what you have to do is sit down and you have to see what happened. Am I carrying something? Am I carrying a dead weight? And what are these dead weights? Those are called baggages. Baggages that we carry every day, like a picture bag. We have baggages from yesterday. We have baggages from the last birthday party where I was not very happy about the gift that I received, and so and so forth. So are you carrying something that is yet to come, something some kind of excitement or a feeling where you're scared about something that is going to happen in future? All right. Lastly, are you able to distinguish? Ask yourself this question. Are you able to distinguish, identify, and reflect upon the weight of those emotions? Because they are also, carrying you down, right? And now, why am I discussing this? I'm discussing this because we live in a VUCA world. Now, VUCA world is, this fast, rapid, really very not gradual but rapidly changing world, unpredictable. The full form is volatility, uncertainty, full of complexity, and ambiguity. So in this world that we live today, students, you have people coming from different regions living with you in your workplace, in your colleges, in your university, and the places where you are. You move away from the boundaries of your comfort zone, your home city, your home country, etc. And you live in this VUCA world, which is volatile in nature. It's changing rapidly. There are so many complexities, etc. And there, you need to work upon your emotions. You need to work upon your emotions because it is directly, most of the time, proportionate to your behavior. Am I right? Write it down, yes or no, in your notepads if you feel so. Your emotions reflect you. We'll come more to it. We'll come to more of it in the coming talks that we're going to have. The one thing that I would want to voice out before I go further is the need of what you call emotional intelligence. There was a time, students, when parents were worried about children's IQ, intelligence quotient. Now, in this VUCA world, people are worried, especially the organizations that you're going to work in certain pressure. Okay, that's the real world, how it is. The pressures that are created, okay, they need to see that if the candidate is good enough for this volatile atmosphere. Because, of course, organizations are not going to change for the employees, not that soon. Of course, there are some HR policies, but still. So there is this vital need of emotional intelligence. So now I would just read out to you what is emotional intelligence. I would request all of you to please listen to me carefully, okay? So emotional intelligence is the ability to understand emotions as well as to express our feelings and ourselves. One. Second, to understand others' feeling and relate with people. Third, the ability to manage and control our emotions so they work for us and not against us, like I said. Emotions, they're strong and they're also weak sometimes. They're fragile sometimes, easily, tendable. So that you have to take care of, that they work for you and not against you. So all of this comes under the category of emotional intelligence or emotionally intelligent expressions. Okay, how you deal with people in front of you, how, when there is some kind of a peer pressure, you don't give into it, you don't indulge into it, rather you come up strong and say your opinion, right? Moving ahead, the ability to generate positive mood and be self-motivated. Lastly, the ability to express your feelings and emotions both verbally and non-verbally. So here is what we needed to understand about emotional intelligence before we gorge further into it. I hope everything is understandable. I hope you're all understanding what I'm coming on to. Next is a story that I would like to share with all of you, so as to we go further into the understanding of our emotions or disturbing emotions. Okay. All right. So Princess and the Pea. I'm not going to, narrate the exact story because that has different morals or lessons to serve. I have modulated the story for the occasion of this webinar. So once there was this girl, and she happened to, get stuck in the rain, and she knocks on the door of this, maybe let's call it a palace, and they saw her, and the queen, she let her enter. She saw that the girl was really beautiful. In those times, those were the, some characters that people looked for in a girl. So the queen, she looked at her surprisingly because of the beauty and everything. And so she had some kind of a plan in her mind. She thought that she would make this girl the bride of the palace, that is the princess. So there was a plan in her mind, but how to understand the character of the girl, as in the qualities? Would she be able to justify herself as a right queen, princess, whatsoever? So there was a plan, and as you can see in the picture, what do you see? There are certain number of blankets, or mattresses rather, and on the top of the mattress you have the girl, okay, who's yet to be the princess. Okay, so she needed to stay for the night, and the queen, she served her this bed. She said, you should be sleeping on this mattress, it would be better for you. And by the very end of the last mattress, she placed a pea under that mattress. Now in the next morning, everyone gathered around, knowing the plan of the queen, because they were aware of her intentions, and they were all waiting for the girl to wake up and ask the girl that how did she sleep. So the girl said, of course, full of gratitude, that thank you for the gesture and everything. But by the end of the whole paragraph, she slightly mentioned that it was very difficult for her to sleep since there was something that bothered her while she was sleeping. So the queen was happy. Queen was happy. Now, we'll put aside the story. The queen, and also by the very end of it, the queen thought, the queen was very happy because her idea got successful, and now she was able to see that this woman, this girl, is ready to be a princess. Why? Because what does a kingdom wants? Kingdom wants a queen slash princess to be very sensitive towards the kingdom, and also be very mindful and conscious of anything that is going around the kingdom. So these, even after so many layers of the mattresses, the princess, the to-be princess, could feel it. That means she would be able to see the needs of the people also, right? So now we'll keep aside the story and we'll just keep the mattresses, the pea, and the girl. Okay. Now, students, when you take yourself as the woman or the girl who's at the top of the mattress, and these mattresses can be replaced by certain factors. What are those factors? social, psychological, sexual, political, economic, financial, and there could be so many more. Family, domesticity, marriage, so many, work, professional, right? So these are your mattresses. These are our mattresses rather. And on the top of it, we lie. Sometimes we can sleep on it, and sometimes we are bothered. So every day, students, we are walking on this mattress. We are carrying all the load. And the small pea, that small matar ka dana that keeps on annoying us or bothering us, and that's like a big concern. But how will you get rid of it? How will you get rid of it? Because you are not sure under which mattress there is this pea, or under how many mattresses there is this pea. The pea is a symbol for any obstacle, any kind of moment that had made you feel sad, upset, disturbed, etc. So I hope you're getting what I'm trying to explain here. There is another term for it, interpellation. Interpellation is when certain layers they come and they form this protective layer, not protective, but form layers around you, and you're not sure which is your real self. Like an onion, okay? So like onion, so there are so many layers, okay? And you have difficulty in reaching at the kernel, that is the seed. I hope the story made sense to you. Okay, so try, but how will you try, and how will you be able to understand which is that layer? So for that, you need to sit down and reflect upon the things that you are carrying, the dead weight of the baggages from the past, or the uncertain future that you are thinking about. Okay, so emotional intelligence, you have to make sure that it is not about just suppressing your emotions. No, it is about gauging it further. It's about reflecting. It's about seeing what it is about. Moving on now to the next slide. Now here comes an important activity that would help you to understand the first phase of our webinar. Okay. First, we recognize. Okay. And it's by Mark Brackett. It's the activity that he conducted with a number of college graduates, and so we'll also try this. Nikita ma'am, you could also be part of this activity. Okay, so my question to all of you is that kindly look at this graph in front of you, and you can see probably 4 different colors, quite vibrant enough. You have red, you have yellow, blue, and green. This bar, it describes the level of your emotions, how energetic you are and how pleasant you are. Okay, so kindly just give 2 minutes to it, look at it, just see where your energy lies, where your pleasantness lies, and give me the color that you are right now in. Okay, you can write down in the notepads that you have. Write down, which is your color right now? Are you in the red zone? Are you in the yellow one, blue or green? I'll give you 15 seconds to look at the graph and locate yourself. I hope that is done. Okay. All right.
I'm done.
Okay. Thank you. Now, I also asked this very question to different sets of students over here as well, and this is what I got. So probably, there could be different variety of answers here. Definitely, people could be in yellow, blue, red, green, different zones, because we all have different mattresses. We have different baggages. I mean, someone at home might have had a bitter argument with their mother, and those things happen, and someone might have different other orientation, because of which he or she might be feeling a little blue, or someone might be in the yellow, and those things happen, right? So this is what I received from the students here, and I thought that I would share the responses as well. Now, now I would like to ask you, you can again write down in your notepads, what is that feeling called? Now here in this particular graph, you see red. So a person, let me just put myself in one of the boxes here. Okay. So I'm here. Okay. In this, I hope my mouse is visible. And so I feel, I am in the yellow zone, and I'm my energy level is +2 here, and the pleasantness is also around this. Okay, I'm not very good at maths, so probably please ignore that. But here I am, these are my coordinates. Okay, please locate it yourself. Now the next question that I have for you all is that what is that feeling called? For example, here I am like, I feel that I'm energetic. Okay, I would like to I would like to tag my emotions right now as energetic. Okay, now you all also do this. Write down the name of your feeling. Write down the how you describe that emotion in one word. Okay, take another 5-6 seconds. Okay, I'll just move forward then. Okay, I also asked this question, what is that feeling called? And students responded in this way. One of them said contented, one of them said busy, not happy nor sad. You can call it neutral. Satisfied, inspired, calm, happy, motivated. Motivated, the one which is in the the biggest font is that which has been repeated several times by number of students. Then you are luring mood, motivated, fully occupied, wonderful, great, etc. So this is an activity to look inside, look within yourself, and tell exactly how you're feeling, because you can do so. You feel that emotions are not easily what do you say, they cannot be easily labeled. That is not true. They are easily labeled because you are given a dictionary of words in this world, okay, in English, and of course in your regional languages as well. Make use of it. Okay, there's a small example by Mark Brackett itself. So there was this question that was asked, asked by some, again, let's say a colleague to another colleague, and the colleague asked, how are you feeling? So sometimes what you do is you say synonymous things. You feel that these words are synonymous to each other, and you can use it interchangeably. So this employee, he says, I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling anxious. Okay. But students, do you know all these three words? They are not synonymous. They are completely different. The meanings of these words are completely different. Stressed is when the demand is more and the resources are less. That is when you're stressed. Go to the dictionary and find it. Anxiety, when you're anxious, is when you're not certain of what's going to happen, what is going to take place in the next second, moment, event, year, etc. Overwhelmed is when you're overcome by so much on your plate and you can't take anymore. That is when you are overwhelmed, right? So this is how we sometimes use the words incorrectly. Okay. So that is why, again, therefore, it is very important for us to label our emotions correctly. Mostly what I've seen today is that students, and I think everyone, working professionals also, whenever they're sad, they use the word depressive. And I'm sure that you might be aware that a lot of psychologists and psychiatrists, they say that this word is used incorrectly all over the world, because it's a medical term. It's a term that is not supposed to be used just like that. No, you're not depressive. You might be sad. You might be lingering on something, but you're not depressive. Okay. So again, now I have a cheat sheet for that graph, and this is the mood meter. Okay. So probably I said I am in this zone. Okay, yellow in this one. So excited is here. Okay. So here I am. Probably first I was focused and then I was excited. Then probably I'll be inspired. And after the session, I might be ecstatic. This is how you move. Okay. And I must also tell you that it is quite possible that you can modulate your emotions. We'll come to it in the next segment. Okay. I hope this is clear. So for example, one of you, I'm not sure, somebody might have probably chosen this box. Okay, so this is where the energy is low, but the pleasantness is quite good. So here you're chilling, right? You're just chilling, listening to a webinar, listening to someone who's speaking about emotion, and you're just listening, chill. So this is here, a cheat sheet of your of the names of your emotions. Please have a look at it, and if you want, you can take a screenshot also. It's available online also. So you must not say that you are depressed. Okay, you can say the word glum or gloomy. You can say that you're down. You're feeling apathetic is again, where you don't actually feel. You feel indifferent. Then tired, lonely, and depressed. Do you see where depressed lies? When there is very low pleasantness and very low energy. Okay, so please make sure that you don't confuse your people around you, because they care for you and they would want to know the exact feeling or emotion that you're going through. Okay, so one thing, that first segment, I hope we have crossed that. And here we talked about labeling our emotions correctly. I hope that is clear. Label it, recognize it, put a tag on it at the right place, and half of the job is done. If you're aware of what you're going through, if you're aware of what you're feeling, if you're aware of your emotions, if you're aware where that P lies, then you will be able to work on it. I hope that is clear. Moving further. So yes, let's keep musing. Okay. Since the 21st century, workplace organizations, they expect, almost demands, I would say, the students to stay competitive in the VUCA world, which is, again, I would like to reiterate, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. A lot of people, the people, the organizations who have dedicated themselves for personality development, they work on critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. Right now, students, we are focusing on communication with ourselves first, and of course, there is another segment which talks about communication with people around you. But today, we are going to talk about communication within. So this is a small video that I would want to show to all of you, which is just to show you that how emotions, they look on our face. Okay, so I would just be needing a little assistance from Miss Nikita. Just let me know if the voice is audible or not. Okay, just give me a hint. Okay. Let's see how quickly I can change. Is it was it audible?
Yes, ma'am, audible.
Okay, thank you. Emotions. Please carry me. I've spent all of the love I saved. We were always a losing game. Small talk, growing big, okay. I've been addicted to a losing game. All right, so that was all. So this is sometimes, of course, when we hide our emotions, I don't want people to understand, to perceive it as not showing your emotions. The point is to show it, and then of course modulate it. Show it to the people who can take it. The second thing that I'm coming on to is that stop pressing it down, stop suppressing it. Yes, whatever emotions that you're going through, they should be visible. But do you think that all kinds of emotions need to be represented in front of the organization that you're working for, the university at which you are studying, etc.? No. In the professional work forum, in the professional working realm, there it's not necessary that you can open yourself like completely with all the baggages. So what you need to do is you need to probably understand that these emotions have to be worked upon. Okay, I'll just move to the next slide, and then we'll probably have an understanding. This question is for all of you. Do you hide your emotions often? Do you pile them up? So while we pile it, what happens is, if you can see the picture, they start growing on us. They become bigger and bigger, and they start haunting us. So when you saw that video, you must have seen different emotions coming up. In the last, you had outburst and free. So do you know that, it's like, so such a beautiful yet disturbing feeling when we have an outburst. We keep on thinking that I'm going to respond to her. I will tell her. I will tell him. I will one day, just probably come up with everything that is inside me. I'll probably blast like a volcano, a volatile volcano, and you feel that that will be so cathartic. But students, let me tell you honestly, the outbursts, they do not help anyone. They rather make you feel sad, and I have certain stories for that as well. I'll be moving forward with those stories. The thing is that you think that you are calling it out, you think that you are standing for yourself or somebody, but when we are talking about organizations, where we're talking about professional spaces, there need to be a proper tactic to call out something. And by calling out, I mean, for example, you have work pressure, you have some you have some deadlines, timelines, etc. So there you need to be very strategic with respect to your outbursts. Okay, yes, there can be outbursts. Of course, we are living in this world full of complexities, but it needs to be organized, synchronized, orchestrated, properly orchestrated. And yes, it can take place. We'll talk more about it in the next slides. So yes, do not pile on your emotions. It does you no favor. Okay, it rather brings a snowball effect where there's a cumulative of your emotions. So, and also it doesn't make you look good. It doesn't make you look agreeable in front of your colleagues, in front of your peers, your friends, your batchmates, your classmates, in your department, etc. And yes, there's again this saying which says, fake it till you make it. No, faking is faking. Or you can say, practice, keep on practicing. That is a different thing. That is a different, intended meaning behind it. So what am I trying to imply here? I'm trying to imply here that own it, own your emotions. The first part was labeling it. Yes, Miss Nikita, you were saying something?
By mistake, sorry.
All right, okay. Okay, so yeah. So own it. Your emotions needs to be owned by you so that you can manage it. I'll come to the manage part later on. There's this, again, a work by Virginia Woolf, a feminist writer, which said a room of one's own. And I have, again, used that particular work for this webinar. How? Do you all have a room, right, where you sleep at night in your own home? I'm sure that you all have a room of your own. And I'm actually literally talking about room, not metaphorical room. So in that room, you feel comforted, you feel quite cozy and convenient, right? The bed sheet and everything. Okay. I work in this university, and here I have a cabin, and I feel comfortable in my zone. I feel that there is this is my space and everything, and I can think. The point that I'm trying to make is, you need space of your own to think, to meditate, not to overthink, but to think. THINK, where you reflect, meditate upon yourself, and so slightly you try to eliminate your mattresses, eliminate your emotions which have been piled up. Whenever, students, you have an outburst, before that outburst, if you just give 10 seconds to you, the outcome, the aftermath would be less ugly than it could be when you don't give time to yourself. There was this movie called, I'm not sure if that was a movie or a web series, but that was called Bombay Begums. And one of the character in that story was a little, not sure about her orientations with a sort of a lover, etc. By the very end of that movie, when two people, they ask her to choose, etc., and she says, please let me have a home of my own, and then let me decide. For the whole movie, she's been seeing to struggle to get a house for herself, get a flat or a room for herself, and she doesn't get that, and keeps on making wrong decisions, apparently wrong decisions, etc. So I really liked when she said, it's not very much very much included in the context that we are talking about today, but that particular line, she says, let me have a house of my own, and then let me decide. I just want that kind of comfort that I do not have yet, so that I can decide what I really want. And that happens in the real life also, students. You need the space, you need a room of your own, a metaphorical, a literal room of your own, to be yourself, to organize your thoughts, to organize your emotions, to shortlist which emotions are important and which are not. So owning it, your room is a room, is your own ownership, where your ownership lies, where you want to put a painting at the side of your bed, you want to put all those things, you organize that, because that's your room. There is this ownership, and you in the second step would be, you organize it according to you, and not according to what one of your friends at the college would organize his or her room with. That is you, that represents you. I hope I'm making sense here. I hope you have written down something that reminds you of what is your room, who is your room, etc. So the second part of the webinar is owning. Okay, own your emotions. All right, moving further, after owning, what you do is you manage it. Okay, you condense it. So here in the picture, you might see that a person with all different kinds of emotions: love, hatred, numb, indifference. There might be triggered anger that could come, quizzical, puzzled, etc. So that you need to understand how to work upon it. Who is a manager, students? Write down in the notepad that you have. Who is a manager? A manager is the one, a leader is the one, or manager is the one who would settle everything for the betterment of a qualitative result, isn't it? A manager will, of course, as the word says, manage everything, right? So there are two words. Now, before I go into the understanding and discussion of this, there are two words: ROOT, root, and ROUTE, root. All right. So these two words are very important with respect to managing your emotions, because you need to find the proper root, ROUTE, for to reach at the ROOT, root of your problem, of your emotion. Okay, I think there is a question here. Okay, so I see that there is a question from an audience. What can introverts do in this case, where they should not pile up their emotions because they cannot open up? Falak, very good question, first of all. Also, Falak, you need not to have people. You can also find a solution within yourself, like I said, and there will be a question later on which will help you understand this better. But do you know, Falak, that I know a lot of introverts, and I think that they are less complex with respect to the people who are extroverts. I would tell something to you about me on this very context. I used to think about myself as a person who's extrovert. Okay, a person who's easily able to talk to people. Then after a certain number of years, I kept on believing that. Okay, I kept on believing in this story that was created by I don't know who. I fell into it, and I believe that yes, I am also extrovert. And then later on, a part of my life was spent outside my home, and then I realized, no, I'm not actually extrovert. I'm probably an introvert who's very good at faking. Probably I'm an extroverted introvert. So it takes time, and I feel that I don't really need people to solve the problem, solve my emotions. But yes, as you have asked, that they're not able to open up, probably you should keep a journal with you. You should always keep a gate or a window open for your guardian angels that are your parents. Okay, we'll gauge more into it, Palak, in just next 5-6 minutes. Okay, we'll come to this question again. Let me, yeah. All right, so the manager, you need to understand that will you let your feelings sprouting from a root emotion spoil your day, week, month? That is the question. So a manager will not let that thing happen, because that would be a very rotten system. How will you think constructively? How will you think productively? That will not going to help, right? So you need to find the root to reach the root of it. So don't carry the baggage. We have discussed what a baggage is: dead weights of your previous events that happened, that again triggered your behavior in the wrong manner. So trace it, own it, and manage it. After labeling it, that is tracing it or recognizing it, you own that emotion. And after owning it, after becoming the owner of that emotion, that emotional self, please be able to manage it. This happened with me again few months ago. I take my example because it's easier to be connected with it, and also it comes with a resolution. So yes, I was again jam packed with something in my mind. I don't particularly remember what was that which had hurt me, but I was really sad. Okay, and I was angry at someone. So I was here in the college, and one of my very good friend and colleague, she kept on asking questions with respect to some coming deadline, or a coming project, etc. So I got really annoyed, and I totally snapped, and I said something like, why are you asking this very irrelevant question? So something like that. So, and she was taken aback, because that's not how usually I am. So I felt bad immediately. And she said, okay, I understand you might be in some mood. And I looked back at myself, and I felt really guilty of talking to a person who's, in some way close to me like that. So I took some minute out. I went out to the corridor. I walked 2 and 3, what do you call it? From one corridor to another. And I just waited for some time, and I came back. I recomposed myself, because I knew what was I going through. So I rescheduled everything that was there, reorganized everything, and I apologized to my friend come colleague. And she said, no, I don't even remember being very polite, etc. But that made me feel good. So this is, how you, even if you snap out, you can come back and recompose. Okay, so this is how you manage your emotions after owning it. Okay, we'll move ahead. So how do you do it? You control it, you navigate, you regulate, modulate your emotions. It's just like the regulator of fan in your home. Okay, you can easily regulate it. Believe me or not, you can do so. Yes, easily is this overstatement. I would try to replace easy with gradual practice. You would be able to control them, modulate it, neutralize. There could be a neutralizing effect also. So please do not bottle up your emotions. You can pour that emotion out of that bottle in different glasses, and then probably see through it that is it required or not, is it required or not, and something like that. So you need to infilter your emotions. Don't cork it, but pour it out in a manner which would not be like a volcanic effect. Okay, so the second picture that you see, okay, so it is not like a magical transformation. No, you might be feeling really angry, and then with a one go at recomposition, and you're like, yay, I'm happy. No, that is not how it works. It is gradual. It's like a process. So as you can see in the picture in front of you, so from being pink to mustard to mango yellow, then you come to a little bit of sky blue, and then teal. So it takes time. Do something for yourself. And also, as Palak had asked me, you don't need a person to open up. Of course, if of course, when there is a need of a therapist, a counselor, that is one thing. Okay, you need a professional help, go and take it. unless and until you think that you don't need a professional help, I would say that you can always sit back. You can always try to become a scientist of your own emotions, because emotions have a biology and chemistry and physics. So don't ask me how, but they have it. Okay. So yes, try to understand the science of your emotions. Okay. And you can be the master slash the scientist of your own emotions. They work in a manner step by step, and you can regulate and neutralize, manage your emotions perfectly well by giving time to your feelings, by giving time to your emotions. Okay. I'll be moving forward. I have two stories. Nikita, I have time, right? Okay. So let's talk about, yes. So also emotional intelligence, it is about regulating your emotions rather than suppressing it, putting down, closing it or locking it. No, it's not about that. It's how you regulate it. It's how you uh, work on it, compose it. Okay. So I have two stories. Aman's story, who's a manager. And no, one story and one perspective. So here, I'm going to narrate a story of, a friend of mine. So this person is really industrious, hardworking, uh, very planned, organized, good employee. He's also a manager. He has 20 people to look after. Okay, and he's looking forward for promotions, for uh, you know good recommendations from the bosses, etc. So he's very hardworking and devoted kind of an employee, a manager. His name is Aman. Now Aman has a team of 20 people, and he's going to manage them all. One of the team member, his name is XYZ. Let's take any name, Anuj, for example. So this Anuj is this boy is not very much into working. He's not devoted. He's not industrious. He's a bit lethargic, I would say. But of course, the boss Aman, he does not like it, and he wants to call it out. So one day, so Aman is that person who has work from Monday to Friday, but he would also work on Saturday because his team would be working. So Anuj, who was expected to be working on Saturday, was not working, and it was 12, and Aman wanted some feedbacks, and he did not get it. It was 2, still did not get it. 3, 4, and lastly at 4:30, he called him. I mean, he also called him several times before, but then now he called him rigorously. Okay. So this man Anuj, this boy Anuj, I would rather say, he picked up the call and said, "Yes, sir," etc. And Aman, he was of course very angry with his team member, and he said, "What is this way of working? You're not serious, and where were you from the past 6 hours, etc." And so Anuj, he snapped. He totally snapped, and he talked really, in a manner which was not polite, and that was very disrespectful. And he said that you are the worst manager. How could you treat humans like that, etc., etc. This is not the way you should treat us, and everything. That's how there are outbursts. Okay, you do that all the time. Think about the time when you had the last outburst. Think about that time. Okay, that kind of an outburst. So Aman also, because he is also a sensitive human being, and he was not aware of how to emotionally balance his rapport here, he also got taken aback, and he was offended, obviously. So he also snapped back. The problem is, he snapped back. Here is the critical point where you need to see that no, you did not have to snap back. There is this is the point, this is the place where emotional intelligence lies. So he snapped back, and this is like looking very ugly. Two people fighting on the phone. One is the manager, other is the team member, and it looks like there is no boundary. Okay, there is no hierarchy. So organization, if you have to work in organizations, yes, you need to be very careful, mindful of your position, because agree or not, you have to make a position of your own, right? How people respect you, how people look at you, how you have created rapport with people. So there is this moment where Aman could not locate his EI, emotional intelligence, and he snapped back, as we have discussed. But then of course later on, when he had put the phone down, he realized that probably this was not the way he should have reacted. So next day he called up a meeting and asked from everyone who is going through what. So again, like I said, you can always recompose, okay? Since it is a possibility that Aman was not aware of and he had not been practicing emotional intelligence. So this is how he recomposed himself. And that's what a manager of emotions do. I hope that is clear. It makes sense. Okay. So please take care of your emotions, how you judge them, how you cast them, right? And every outburst can have different responses also. So make sure that how you respond to an outburst is also important, and as important as the actual outburst that comes out from people. Okay. Now we come to another perspective, which is called squeeze a lemon. You have a notepad, right, everyone? What comes out when you squeeze a lemon? I know it's irrelevant, I understand, but I'm sure you all know what comes out when we squeeze a lemon. Lemon juice. What happens when we squeeze an orange? Orange juice. What happens when we squeeze a mango? Mango pulp. Right? Okay. Are you getting at what I'm trying to say? Whatever is inside comes out. Okay. So when you're angry, people see people see a glance of your inside. People can get a sneak peek of how you are, or probably who you are, or that's how they judge you, or that's how they would see you. So if you are driving a car, and of course road rage is very common in metro cities, so people can be seen internally when they use cuss words and etc. So actually what it is that you can always change what you contain so that you can express whatever you have inside you. Okay. I hope you're understanding, right? So it is very important. It is very important that whatever is inside, the formula, the rus, the liquid, whatever, the content, the you that is inside comes out when you're talking to people, when you're expressing your emotions. So be very mindful, be very conscious of what you're exposing people with. And you can be easily working on it by putting the right things in your mind, so that the right things could come out of your mind as well. I hope that is clear, right? I'll just move on to the other slide now. Okay, so now as I said before also, it's not something that can happen magically with all of us. It's not a day's job. Rome was also not built in a day. So of course, it takes time. But at the same time, if you start today, you might be able to complete that journey. And as I say, a journey of 1,000 miles begin with the tiniest step. And so today, please take that step and be mindful of the shoulder angels. We'll talk about them. So how many of you have watched Harry Potter? I probably think that a lot of you might have seen it. So there's this dialogue from that movie, and which is said by Professor Lupin, if I'm not wrong. The world isn't split into good people and Death Eaters, the Dementors. We've all got both light and dark inside us. What matters is the part we choose to act upon, and that's who we really are. So if you go back to the lemon theory, the squeeze a lemon perspective, you'd be able to understand that yes, we can have different portions of different feelings, but it depends on what we are ready to expose and express. All right. Again, there is another concept called shoulder angels. As you can see in the picture, literature students might have a good idea about it. There was this play by Christopher Marlowe, which was Dr. Faustus. There we had good angel and bad angel. So shoulder angels are like that. And in real life also, there are shoulder angels. At one point of sight, you have a good angel who might be just giving you the right perspective, the right directions towards your goals. And there would be a devil or a evil soul, or what you call the bad angel, who might just feeding you with the wrong things. The break or the solution here is that start feeding your good thoughts, start feeding your good angel, because you need to feed the good angel, and you don't need to feed your bad angel, because bad angel feeds you. So be very mindful of that again, that who your shoulder angels are. Go back to the people who really care for you, who have concern for you, who would always act as good angels, who would work for your achievement, success, who would pray for you every day. And I would always say that to all the students that I have, please listen to your parents. Don't take it as a moral lecture from my side, but yes, you should always do. And it just is not limited and restricted with the students. I myself believe that everyone should go back and listen to their parents, because they always would be the good angels. All right, moving towards the next point, which is also a question. You can please use your notepads. Who is this person you call when your emotions are difficult to handle? So Falak, your question here as well. One of the parents, your spouse, best friend. You sit and reflect with your own self and not on the list. What do you think? Just give it a second. All right, I'm just going to wait for a second here. All right, since there is a paucity of time, so now you all know, you call this person. And Falak, you also please take a note of it, that it's not just people you have to open up to. You can sit and reflect with your own self as well. So these are the good angels here. Please listen to them. And yes, there's a small note on Dementors. If you all are big fan of Harry Potter's, the negative vibe, they are like vibes, they are like Dementors. Okay, they take out the goodness in you, etc., and make you feel desolated. So please stay away from negative thoughts, negative emotions, negative people who are difficult to be trusted. Moving ahead, so I'll just go back to this question again. So as I said, you need to think, but yes, not overthink also. But for thinking, we require time. So there's this one question, last question that I wanted to ask from all the students. How many people here use their phone in the washroom? So that's the one practice you should just stop and cut from your life, because that is, a time where you reflect. Okay. So I asked many students, and 70-60% of the people, the students, the undergraduates, graduates, they used to take it. So please stop that activity right now, because that is how you are consumed by the knowledge of the social media, and you don't have time for yourself. So give yourself some time. That's the basic agenda. Yes, it might look like it is very difficult, but this is how small choices become actions, and actions, they become habits, and habit become our way of life. So this is how you emotionally intelligently, emotional expressions are there. This is how you intelligently express emotionally. Okay, so this is how you go ahead. Small choices like not using your phone everywhere, not taking it everywhere, would be one step to probably disconnect yourself with the fakeness or of the world, and rather you should just look within yourself. So there are two videos, and I would just send it to Miss Nikita, and she can share with all the students, so that they can understand how choices, they impact upon our lives and upon our way of living. All right, so please label your emotions correctly, recognize them correctly, own it, and please manage it. Okay, thank you everyone so much. And remember one thing, like the screen, you can look at the screen and say, see, everything is theoretically impossible. Yeah. And until unless it is done. So please think about possible, okay? Possible and impossible, the middle line between the both. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for having me, Miss Nikita, and all of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening our students and for this very wonderful presentation also. We have few questions. One was in the chat box only. Few they have texted, if you can see in the chat or not. Are you able to see?
No, I just have one question from Palak Nas.
Yes. So one of them was asking about that you said that we need a literal room to think. So the question was a physical room required to think or to have a space around us? Was a literal room required, or we can just have a space?
Yeah, both the things, I would say. I cannot lie on it that you don't need a literal room also. Sometimes you need that space where people don't see you, okay, where people cannot see you directly and can see you going through something. So you need that, moment with yourself. So yes, a literal room also. But of course, if you don't have that particular convenience, then of course going out for a walk where you can think about something without having your earphones, you can probably contemplate your thoughts.
Okay, there are many, but I'm going to ask you only. One of them was asking, like, there was a slide which talked about piling up the emotions
Right.
or the thoughts we have. You even narrated a story about it. So it was like, what is the cure of having those piled up emotions if we have? And certainly it affects our personality and thought process also. So what we can do to get rid of it?
Again, piling up is not the solution, but this is how we do it. So the first step would be to stop piling it. And if you already have a pile behind you, what you need to do is just wait for a second, wait for doing anything in your life, go back and segregate the pile. Okay, of course that might look that how to practically do so, but that is doable. How? Because healing takes time. Something that has happened in your past can be reflected upon by probably forgiving yourself or forgiving the person who has hurt you or who has offended you. So go back, segregate, and that's all.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. And it was really wonderful having you between us. And we thank you again. I hope other questions we can discuss if we get one more session from you.
Sure, of course, that is something that I'm looking forward to, and I'm really thankful to you, to Parallel University, for having me, for inviting me, because this is the need of the hour, and we all need to work on it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Apurva.
Thank you, Ms.